few would argue that Manchester United are worthy of Wembley. For every other team in England, they're the team to beat. They're here for the third League Cup final for them in 4 years. They know the territory. Aston Villa supporters were beginning to forget where Wembley was, even though it's Villa's 6th League Cup final. It's 17 years since they were last here. Today, the daunting task of stopping Giggs, Cantona and all. But it has all the makings of a classic. There's something special about being at Wembley on Cup final day. It's appropriate, I think, that in this last sports programme on Radio 5, we're here at the great stadium. A glorious day in North London. I'm afraid the sun has just gone in, but you could play drafts on the pitch just in front of me. It's looking absolutely magnificent. Conditions are good, and the pitch is an absolute picture. So we should be in for a good game. Slightly strange that at just after 3 on match day we aren't closer to kick-off. Battle commences, of course, at 5 o'clock here this afternoon, so that gives us a chance to give it the big build-up. Let's give us a taste of what's in store this afternoon. Here's our football correspondent, Mike Ingham.
Well, good afternoon. The Coca-Cola Cup final, the real thing. Well, not quite. The traditional vintage brew will be served up on a Saturday afternoon in May at 3 o'clock. But for the moment, this is going to do very nicely as an aperitif. And let's get things straight right from the start. There are actually 2 teams playing in today's event, because you could be excused for thinking that this occasion exclusively belongs to Manchester United, and the day all about them attempting the first third of a triple crown. The week has been more French than Saunders. But Jimmy Armfield, our expert summariser, how much danger is there to United having so much of the spotlight, do you think?
Well, I only think that the events that have gone on this week really should urge them on to better things, because they've had a bit of a traumatic time, publicity-wise, as much as anything else. And I would have thought the players will steel themselves for a top performance here in front of what is a nationwide audience.
How do you see Cantona responding to all this?
I think he, more than anybody, will want to prove a point. We all know what kind of technical ability he has. He is a very talented player. I think more than anybody else, he will want to put on a show today.
Now, Villa knocked out the holders Arsenal. They also beat Spurs as well. How much of a threat? And let's remember, there's no Schmeichel in the Manchester United goal today.
Well, there's a threat, all right, from Aston Villa. One thing you have to remember is, it's been all about United. But in point of fact, there are 6 internationals in Villa's team, and there could even be 7. So basically, they've got the talent, they've got the experience to do it on the day, and nobody will know that more than Manchester United, especially too, as Ron Atkinson, I'm sure, would love to beat his old club here, at Wembley.
Just a final thought. How important is this game in terms of the other bits of the treble United are after? How could it affect them psychologically, do you think?
I think this is, it's a key issue, of course. In fact, if they get the first rung on the ladder, it could lift them on to better things. Should they slip today, then they'll go to the match, with Liverpool and Blackburn this week, wondering whether it could even be a double, no mind a treble. But I think they must start this game as favourites. OK,
Jim, thanks for the moment. The omens. In 1957 at the FA Cup final, United were overwhelming favourites. They lost 2-1 to Aston Villa, and Villa, remember, the only team to eliminate United from the League Cup over the last 3 seasons. But I'll still take United.
OK, Mike and Jimmy are in our commentary box this afternoon, along with Alan Green, who's had a hearty lunch and is napping in the corner. Right, we've got a foot in both Manchester United and Aston Villa camps this afternoon.
A fashion capacity, Robin, but I'll do my best for you. Yves Pollard, eat your heart out. The M40, though, was a sea of claret and blue at 10 o'clock this morning as Big Fat Ron's army came south from Birmingham. How timely, incidentally, that the first service station for the M40 finally opened on Friday. Now, Ron Atkinson says he's picked his team. He's told the players, and he'll tell us shortly. His main worry is Steve Staunton, who's still not right after his hamstring injury. The pace of Andrei Kanchelskis on United's right wing could expose Staunton, so Atkinson might go for the intelligent positional play of Stephen Froggatt. I expect him to keep faith, though, with most of his established players. But Graham Fenton, a bright young forward, will figure somewhere in the equation. Now, Mike Ingham, a moment ago, he mentioned Manchester United against Aston Villa in 1957. And Ron Atkinson's love affair began in 1957 when, as a Villa apprentice here in this stadium, he watched them lift the FA Cup. He loves coming to Wembley. The way Villa's playing lately, Ron needs a happy omen of 1957.
More from Pat and Peter, of course, later. The teams are expected out around about 40 minutes' time, so, of course, we'll be getting a few interviews when they come onto the pitch. The whole match is live, of course, in this Coca-Cola Cup final in Sunday Sport on National Radio 5. The match kicks off at 5 o'clock, but, of course, we'll have the chance to give it the big build-up, as I said earlier. Lara now. He's the 24-year-old West Indian batsman, of course. He's a lifelong friend of the Villa striker, Dwight Yorke. Now, Yorke grew up in Trinidad with Lara, who adopted Aston Villa as one of his favourite teams as soon as Yorke joined them. Yorke's likely to be edged out of the starting lineup today by Dean Saunders and Dalian Atkinson, but Lara is nonetheless hopeful that his best mate can star at Wembley.
So I hope he plays first, and I hope he has a good game. He's been going through a lot this year. A lot of injuries, a lot of setbacks. But the guy that I know he is, I think he's going to fight back, whatever situation he finds himself in.
And although you'd like to be taking runs off England on Sunday, I'm quite sure you'd also quite like to be at Wembley and watching him.
I'd love to be there. He's a very, very good friend of mine, very close. We go a long way back. I started playing football first, and he was always better than me. Don't worry about that. But of course, I'd like to be there supporting him. He's one of a countryman, and he's done so well. He's still so young, and he's excelling in football and showing a lot to the country. And as I said, I'd like to be there, but I'd like to be here also on Sunday and scoring some runs.
Well, you said you weren't as good a footballer as he was. Did he play cricket with you?
Yes, he did, and I think it was the same. He was a very good player. I played against him. He played for his island, Tobago, and we always came up against each other, either football or cricket, and that way we became very good friends. We competed together, and we loved each moment of it.
Is he a batsman or a bowler or what?
He was a batsman, wicket-keeper.
If he's listening to this, do you want to send him a message?
Well, I hope he wants some money first, maybe, because you always keep calling me and saying, Brian, what's happening? You're not scoring any runs. I'm losing my money over here. So first, I hope he got some money over the last weekend, and I'd like to wish him all the best in the finals. I hope he scores a winning goal. It'll be perfect for us.
You know that the team he's playing against is Mike Atherton's team, Manchester United.
Well, I hope that they also are one of my teams, Manchester United, and but since Dwight has been to England, I'm forced to back Aston Villa, and sorry to say, I hope that they do upset Manchester United.
That's Brian Lara, who's rooting for Aston Villa, or is it Manchester United? Weren't quite sure after that, but certainly his best mate Dwight Yorke will be hoping that Villa can come through this afternoon. And I wonder who one of our special guests this afternoon is rooting for. Peter With, the former Aston Villa striker. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, what about this then? You've seen every one of Villa's games in this competition. Can they do it in the final?
Yes, I think that they can. I think that there's they're underdogs. Rons could make the second manager to have a hat-trick of wins. The last one, of course, was Ron Saunders when he was at Aston Villa. And I've just got a feeling that it's going to be 3-2. I don't know why. I've just got a premonition, whatever you want to call it. I've just got a sneaky feeling for them.
Now, people might regard this as the second-class final, with the FA Cup final in May, of course, taking the main headlines. But, this is Aston Villa against Manchester United. This is perfect. This is the top two from last season. It should be a cracker.
It should be. You're right in that. I've played in the League Cup final. The one to elude me has been the FA Cup final, and I played in it with Nottingham Forest. And it was a great atmosphere. It's a great day. I've been coming down the motorway today, and the fans have been pouring down, and it's been, in Birmingham, it's been electric. I should imagine it's been the same in Manchester. It's been absolutely electric. People looking forward to it. All the supporters, not only Villa supporters, but Midland supporters, are hoping that Aston Villa win. There might be a few Birmingham supporters who maybe not thinking that, but I think that the Midlands in general just want to see maybe a trophy come to the Midlands.
What about you? What are you most excited about this afternoon?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Ron's lineup. He's indicated about his back four, what it could be. I think there's always been a worry at the left-back position. Whenever he's played Manchester United, he hasn't played Staunton in that position. He's always played small. But I think today you'll find that he'll probably play him in the left-back position and go with his solid back and just hope that they're going to play on the day, because I've watched them over the last few games and they haven't played that well. But if you can't play on this atmosphere and in this stadium, then you can't play anywhere. And I would think that Ron Atkinson will be emphasising that to all the players: go out and play.
Now, if you listen to a lot of people, and Mike Ingham was making this point at the top of the programme, you would have thought that Aston Villa are like a third division side coming into this with absolutely no hope of winning. You obviously see that there are chinks there and they can win.
Yes, I think that the way that they've got there, and certainly with the Tranmere game, the way that they got there, I mean, everyone wrote them off when they were lost 3-1. I think because Manchester United are going for the treble, there's been a bit of controversy with one thing and another at the Manchester United camp. But I feel that Aston Villa, on this occasion, and with Ron, who seems to have a affinity with Wembley, whether it be in the FA Cup or the League Cup, and he seems to, on the big occasions, like he did at Sheffield Wednesday, put one over on Manchester United. So I think that he would be emphasising one thing and one thing only: go out, enjoy it, but above all, come back with the cup.
Well, let's continue that Ron Atkinson theme. Well, more from Peter With, of course, later, but he's twice led Manchester United out at Wembley, as Peter says. He was manager for their FA Cup final victories in 1983 against Brighton and 1985 against Everton. The Aston Villa manager is today plotting his former club's downfall, although he takes his team out on the back of 3 successive defeats in the Premiership. Well, Pat Murphy talked to Big Ron this week, and it wasn't long before Pat got to the point.
Just how awful have Villa been the last few weeks?
It's been a plan. It's part of our plan to lull Manchester United, because we know they've had their spies doing dossiers on us. So it's what we call our confusing plan.
A cunning plan, Baldrick?
Oh, it's a very cunning plan. I mean, it's an old trick, we think, but it just might work.
They've been awful, though, haven't they?
We haven't been too good. In fact, one of our better moments were when we were awful. We rose to awful at one stage in one of the games. But I don't suppose it's inevitable, but a lot of people have tended to suggest that maybe the Wembley thing has distracted our players. I know it shouldn't, they're professionals, but I suppose this does happen. I mean, if you look at the history of the game, teams, when they've reached a final, all of a sudden they've had a form lapse, and very often have gone on to win it.
How big a test of your management has it been there?
This week? Oh, it's been I tell you what, I don't know about my management. My patience has been more than my management. I mean, I tell you what, I've blown a few tops this week, that's for sure. But it's cup final week. We're going to a major cup final. Aston Villa, first time for years. Going to Wembley, taking all our fans down the motorways. And I've always thought cup finals are things to be savoured.
I can't remember the last time, if motorways were available last time Villa at Wembley.
No, what I said to the boys earlier, I said the big difference in the last time the Villa went in the League Cup, Coca-Cola Cup as it is now, the big thing for the fans is the M40's, since been built. I said the last time they went to Wembley in an FA Cup final, the M1 hadn't been built.
Podium trap. This is one of the reasons why you came to Villa, though, isn't it? Cup finals at Wembley.
Yes. I must confess, I mean, don't forget, I started off as a kid here.
Were you here for the 57 Cup final?
I was with the squad that went down with the
Manchester United.
Yeah, Manchester United. 17 then savoured it. It was a lovely day, particularly as Villa, upset all the odds. I mean, Man U that particular day only had to beat a very, very ordinary Villa side, I might say, in the league position to take the double. We all know about the incident with the goalkeeper and Peter Mack, but Villa triumphed that day. Now here we go again. We're not an ordinary league, so we're not bad actually. All right, the last 3 games have dropped us down a few places, but we're not a bad side. I'll tell you that now. And they are in line to become the first team, certainly, the first team ever for the modern treble.
How good are Manchester United among recent clubs in English football?
They're an excellent side. Excellent side. They're an exciting side, and they're a side that, all credit to Alex Ferguson and his lads, they're a sort of side that if I was a neutral fan, I would travel the country to watch, because they play in an exciting way. I think they've, since they won the championship last year, I think that has been the biggest plus they can have. I think it's like adrenaline has certainly given them an extra 25% in their game. And they had that pressure of when they're going to win it, because don't forget last March, virtually the same team was stuttering. And then they got back on the rails at Norwich one night with a 3-0 victory, and then went on and did it, and then they played the 120 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday when they were getting beat 1-0 and managed to win that, which, in my book clinched them the championship. And they carried on from the start of this season, reinforced with Roy Keane, smashing player, top player. They've got a number of top players.
Pity that Cantona didn't get sent off a week earlier, though, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, I said that jokingly because he'd have missed our game, but All right, if, we want to go and play, and Cantona as a player is what I would term a Wembley player. All right, if it's going to be a great final, and it's capable of being, you say that many times, and the final can be disappointing, but it's capable of being a great final, because we've got players in our team that I've got a feeling that Wembley will lift.
You've had terrific games against Manchester United since you came to Aston Villa.
Smashing. There's always that little bit. It's a special thing when you play Manchester United anyway. But I think deep down, I think they've got a very healthy respect for us. I'll tell you that now. They know that we ran them very close, a lot closer than it suggests last season. And it seems amazing that it's us again at Wembley against them. And I think that there are other teams in the division, many of them, that they'd have preferred to have played.
I've never seen you more animated during a game than in that semi-final against Tranmere. It clearly meant an enormous amount to you to get to Wembley.
Yeah, no matter how long you're in the game, and now, I was until Laurie McMenamin made a comeback. I've now been informed that I'm the oldest manager in the game, but it's still an exciting occasion. Wembley at Cup Final Day, major Cup Finals, is exciting, for the fans, for the players, people at the club, your office staff, and certainly for the manager. I think Wembley's a great place.
Not just an excuse to get another suit, then?
No, but that's all part and parcel of it, isn't it?
Have you got one planned?
We've got them, yeah. We've got some nice ones.
You're going to be poncing around down the catwalk, are you, at Wembley?
I hope after the game we might be... we will. We'll enjoy it anyway. I want to make it... See, Villa haven't been for a long old time. Man United have been every other 10 minutes by the look of it over the last decade. Now, what we're trying to do is make it an event. Because we did it at Sheffield. We did exactly the same as Sheffield. Made it an event. And I don't think it's any coincidence that Sheffield have been 2 or 3 times since then. Mm. You have to make... Once you've been there, once you've tasted it, I think you want to keep going there.
So in man management terms, Ron, you've got to kick them up the backside at various stages, and you at the same time put your arm around them and say, you're good players, you're good enough to beat this lot. Difficult.
Oh, I know. There are times when maybe you think England might be the West Indies.
Not really.
No, it might be an easier task. But, Swindon didn't do too bad against Man U last week. Chelsea have done all right against them. And I know for a fact we're better than both those 2 teams.
So that sets the agenda, doesn't it? Ron Atkinson, the Aston Villa manager, and he's quietly confident, I think, from the sound of that. And if he wanted...
Did, in fact, impress Ron Atkinson and the Villa management. So that's the news here. Graham Fenton will play for Aston Villa, only 19 years of age. And I mentioned John McCririck. I've got another understated character alongside me, representing the Villa camp, Stan Boardman, one of the famous comedians. Stan, how are you doing?
I'm all right, yeah, great. It's great atmosphere to be back here at Wembley again, yeah.
You're almost a regular here at Wembley. You came here with Ron Atkinson with Manchester United a few years ago and Sheffield Wednesday.
That's right, yeah, and they won both times. So Ron regards me, probably, as a lucky mascot.
And you've been trying to relax the players and the coach. I imagine with Ron Atkinson as manager, that has not been very difficult.
Actually, the lads are very calm now. I've been telling them jokes for an hour and a half on the coach coming from the hotel. We've had their breakfast at the hotel. I've kept them going, and we're still laughing on the way here. When I got here, we're coming into the car park. I said, all these cars here, I said, bloody hell. That's a big car boot sale, isn't it? That was the last laugh. We've all come in now and have a good laugh.
How long have you known Ron?
Well, Ron was born in Old Swan in Liverpool. A lot of people don't know that. He's a Scouser. And he's born in Liverpool. And I've known him for, 15 years.
I bet you support Liverpool or Everton or Tranmere, not Aston Villa.
Well, I'm a Liverpool supporter. But when I watched Tranmere playing Aston Villa, I was hoping that Tranmere Rovers would win. And now I'm here. I do want Aston Villa to win, definitely.
Now, Ron's dress sense, we know nothing about, Stan, because uncharacteristically, Ron hasn't graced us with his presence on the field. What sort of a little number is he wearing?
Well, what happened is that all the team have got suits made for them, right? And in fact, when I got to the hotel, Ron had a suit made for me. But the sleeves are about 4 inches too long. And the jacket's about 2 sizes too big. And I thought it was Paul McGrath hadn't turned up again. And I got his suit. But no, when I went down for breakfast, Paul McGrath was there. But no, they're all wearing the suits. I think they were made by Nigel Kennedy's tailor, I think. And that's probably the reason why Ron hasn't come out, because it fits Quasimodo better than it fits Ron. No, I'm only joking. If the tailor's listening, it's only a joke. They're great suits, and I hope they're lucky suits.
Stan, thanks for joining us. No doubt we'll catch up on you later with a few more recycled jokes from Ron Atkinson's factory.
They're all recycled, don't worry about it, but let's hope that the cup is a winner.
I reckon Ron pinches your material, you know.
No, he's a good gag man himself, actually, and he's just sold his house and bought a villa.
Stan, thanks for joining us. Back to you, Robin.
Terrific. That was Stan Boardman there on the pitch, and terrific stuff. Okay, well, the Stars are out at Wembley Stadium, and in Trinidad, the England cricket Stars are just plain getting out. Peter Bax, a little earlier from Pat Murphy, has shocked us all in the commentary box, I think. Graham Fenton plays. Ray Houghton is on the bench. Fenton isn't even mentioned, Peter, in the programme today.
Yeah, it sometimes happens like that, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, I was at the training ground on Friday, and all the lads were very, very buoyant and really looking forward to it before they were. And the young lad Fenton, who come in and played as a substitute against Tranmere, and I was very impressed, because there was two guys who had to get up and take a penalty. One of them was Fenton, and the other lad was Hugo. And when he stepped up, I thought to myself, a young lad like that having to take a penalty in such a crucial stage, and he just stepped up, slotted it brilliantly in the corner. Of course, Hugo missed it. Maybe that's why he's not on the bench.
Well, I mean, Fenton, how's he going to feel on an occasion like this? I mean, this is a brave decision to throw in a youngster like him into a big occasion.
It is, but I think that he handles it very, very well. I mean, he's a Geordie lad. I was at the club when he was one of the apprentices there. Very strong, a bit in the mould of Mark Hughes, funnily enough, but is not maybe as tall as him. But he holds things up. He's got a cockiness about him, wants to do well, and I don't think he will be wanting on the big occasion. I think that he'll look forward to it, relish it. I mean, he was saying in the paper that he was just waiting for the nod, and now he's had the nod. What a stage to play in front of.
It's strange, isn't it, Peter, that when you get a final like this, you always look to the people like the Cantona, the Giggs, the Saunders and Townsends of this world, but very often it's the person you didn't consider gets the all-important goal or makes the vital save or whatever.
That's right. I thought that I had a little hankering for Townsend and Houghton to score goals. Now I'm looking at that. I'd like to find out what the odds are on Fenton scoring a goal, because he's always likely to score goals. He's a bit like shoot on sight. He gets in a position and take a shot, so who knows, he might get onto the park and he might end up getting the first goal.
Well, we've had a hint already of what the United team is going to be. Let's get confirmation of that with Peter Slater. And if the crowd are actually going to take any point scoring today, then the Villa fans will probably be winning that one, because the claret and light blue are much, much louder away to my right. You can hear them again. They've just been singing Que Sera, and just have a listen. It's terrific. Wonderful. Wembley resplendent. We haven't got the sunshine, I'm afraid, this afternoon, but it's still bright, perfect conditions, as the players were saying there, and it should has all the makings of a classic this afternoon. Right, Aston Villa. They started by putting arch-rivals Birmingham in the shade. 1-0 home and away, and Villa were in the mood for a cup run. To Roker Park, Sunderland, a tricky trip, negotiated in style.
Richardson, the captain, on the halfway line. Guys, a good ball through. Marvellous through ball. Atkinson, terrific goal. Right foot shot past the goalkeeper Chamberlain from absolutely nowhere.
The first of 4 goals, and into round 4 they went. The manager Ron Atkinson watched his namesake Dalian knock out the holders Arsenal, and suddenly Villa believed they could go all the way. Up the road at Tottenham, they turned it on again.
Coming chance for Houghton. Drives it in and scores. Ray Houghton has scored for Aston Villa. Well, it fell nicely for him just on the edge of the area, and the Aston Villa fans behind that goal to our right have gone absolutely mad.
With good reason. 2-1 at White Hart Lane. Surely they reach the final now after drawing First Division Tranmere in the semis? Maybe not.
And Aldridge has beaten the offside trap, and John Aldridge can make it 3 here in the area. Goalkeeper comes out, Aldridge is the post, and then hits the back of the net with the rebound.
That wasn't the end of the story. Dalian Atkinson's injury time goal made it 3-1. Villa had hope for the second leg. 2-0 up in that second leg. Aldridge brought down by Bosnich in the area. 2-1. Atkinson made it 3-1 just 2 minutes from time. And then the Aussie goalkeeper, who might have had the red card earlier in the match, turned from villain to hero in the penalty shootout.
Ian Nolan, who must score this penalty kick now against Mark Bosnich. Villa lead 5-4, or Villa will go through, and it's saved by Bosnich. And Aston Villa go through to the final of the Coca-Cola League Cup.
That's how they got there, and of course we'll be discussing that with our special guests in the commentary box, Frank Stapleton and Peter Withe, in a moment. But first of all, and I know that Peter Withe was with Aston Villa for all those games. Pretty impressive path to the final for Villa, wasn't it, Peter? I mean, they beat some tough teams. They had the Holders away, they had Spurs away. The Tranmere game, they were 3-0 down at one stage. I mean, maybe their name's on this cup.
You sometimes look at that. I mean, the game that sticks out in my mind was Sunderland away, funnily enough, because they didn't play that at all well. I mean, my old mate Mickey Buxton was managing Sunderland at the time, and he didn't know how they got through, because they had 3 chances and scored 3 goals, and yet Sunderland really rocked them. But you look at the Tranmere game, people probably think that, about the Bosnich incident, about certain things, but they sometimes are the ones that help you get to Wembley. And then when you get to Wembley, you sometimes think, now we've got here, let's see if we can perform and let's see if we can win the cup.
Well, I just wonder also about that. I mean, they haven't really hit top gear, have they, Villa? And maybe they're saving it for this final.
I hope so. I certainly hope that they are. They've played a bit indifferent. When they've played in the league, they've played when they've played well, they've played absolutely superb. When they've played bad, they have been awful. I mean, I've seen last week, there've been a few games that I've been down and seen them play, and they haven't played well at all. I will say this for them, the Tranmere game, you knew that they were at it. I mean, they needed an early goal, they got an early goal, and they went for the whole of the 90 minutes and the extra time trying to get goals. If they play like that, then I don't think they'll have a problem today.
So the problem for Manchester United this afternoon is that they've got to get past Mark Bosnich, the Australian, whose uncle lives in war-torn Croatia. His parents are here from Sydney to see the game, and the 22-year-old, of course, the hero with that penalty save from Ian Nolan in the semi-final penalty shootout. But he says all the adulation which followed that didn't go to his head.
I was fortunate straight after the Tranmere game. I didn't go out celebrating because I had a quite nasty bang on the head with the penalty incident. And then there was a match straight away on the Wednesday and then the Sunday, so I didn't really have time to sink in. And the manager and the staff did everything possible to keep my feet on the ground. I myself, I try not to get carried away with things, but to be perfectly honest, it is quite difficult. I just try to avoid reading the newspapers. I just buy them and cut them out for my parents because they like to have that type of souvenirs. And they've arrived now, and doubly make sure that my feet stay firmly on the ground.
And your recent form, Mark, which hasn't been terrific, would make sure your feet stayed on the ground.
Definitely, because in England, with the regularity of the games, they come thick and fast. There's never a chance really to sort of sit back on your laurels. As you just said, the recent week hasn't been the best for us, but we've just got to put that behind us now and try to bounce back from it. I think what's important in English football is not so much how you handle yourself after winning, but how you handle yourself after something goes wrong, after your setbacks. And that's what separates the true winners from losers.
It's ironic, isn't it, that Peter Schmeichel is banned and you're not, and in certain areas that there are similar incidents.
Yeah, you could say that. Everyone's going to have an opinion on them, which is everyone's right to have an opinion on it. It's just unfortunate that Peter has to miss the big game. I know Manchester United would love him to have him playing, obviously, because he's their number one. And for me personally, he's one of my heroes, and it would have been nice to be lining up against him. But that's fate, and hopefully for Peter and Manchester United, he'll have another opportunity at the end of May to rectify that.
Do you think you were lucky to stay on the pitch in retrospect?
In a lot of ways you look at it, maybe yes. Can't really give you a straight answer for the simple fact that no matter what I say, it's going to be biased. And I suppose if you ask half of Merseyside, they'd be screaming down the neck saying, yeah, that you were very lucky. But that's how things swing on the football pitches. It is a bit of a game of chance, and that's the business we're in. All I can say in my defence is that I went purely for the ball. I had no mean intentions whatsoever, and the rest is history.
Now, Wembley, kind of situation that you would have dreamt about, surely, way back in Australia when you were growing up, learning to be a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't. It's a very big occasion. The ground is famous around the world for its tradition and for the many feats that have been performed there. And even though it's not perhaps the biggest cup final, the FA Cup final, without downgrading it too much, is obviously the big game. But because we're playing against Manchester United, and because the battles we've had over last season adds a little bit of spice to it, also coupled with the fact that a few of us obviously had affiliations with Manchester United in the past, or and two footballing sides, one who has perhaps played some of the best football that this country's seen since the dominant era of the 80s with Liverpool. And I think people hopefully will be looking forward to it.
Mark Bosnich talking to Pat Murphy there, and he was ever honest, saying, well, perhaps he should have been sent off in that semi-final. Well, let's look at the Manchester United path to Wembley, and straight who Peter Withers got his money on this afternoon. But Peter, how do you think Manchester United are going to play it? I mean, it does seem that they are extremely effective on the break, and they could soak up a bit of pressure and maybe hit them hard.
The difference is that when they're at home, the onus is on them when they play at home. They've got to chase the game just a little bit, and sides have been going to Old Trafford and maybe just sitting back a little bit. If they don't stick an early chance away, then really they're going to chase the game, and that's probably why they come unstuck maybe against Chelsea. Where they play away from home, like they played at Norwich and places like that, they've sat back, soaked up the pressure. But the difference that they've got so much pace in the side that they don't only get 1 and 2 in the box. Once they break, they get 5 or 6 people all wanting to score goals. And that's why they're at the top, as it were, and that's why they're in 3 trophies, for the simple reason is that they've got everyone in the side. I think there's only the goalkeeper who hasn't scored. I don't know about Les Seeley. He never scores anyway.
Well, let's talk about a few of the individuals who might turn the match. Frank, there's £26 million estimated on the pitch today, and I suppose you could name any one of 10, 12 players who might turn this game. Who for you are key players in this game?
Well, without going on too much about him, I think this stage is set up for the likes of Eric Cantona. This is his sort of game. A big crowd. He's played in front of big crowds before for the national team in France, and of course with Manchester United all season. But for me, this stage is set up for him. There will be a little bit more pressure than there would be normally on him because of what's happened in the last week. But if the fella concentrates on the good part of his game, his touches, his ability to hold the ball and pass the ball, and obviously his ability to score good goals, I think it can be set up for him today. On the Aston Villa side, I think the obvious one is Dalian Atkinson. It's a big stage, a big pitch, and when he gets the ball at his feet, he likes to take people on, and that's the sort of place Wembley thrives on, that sort of situation. But there's obviously question marks against the Aston Villa team because of late they have been very, very inconsistent. I saw them play at Leeds the other week, and I was very disappointed. They were missing 2 or 3 players. But it's like an old cliche in football that you can't turn your form on like a tap. But maybe just the occasion on this day will bring it through for them.
And Peter, how important is the referee going to be today? Keith Cooper of Pontypridd, man who's probably cleaning his teeth right now because he always likes to before he plays, officiates in a big match. But he's got an important job, hasn't he?
I think the interesting fact really is that the referee, I don't think Villa have been on the losing side when he's been refereeing them. So that's a bit of a plus for them. Just looking really with regards to what Frank said, I really think about Ryan Giggs. I mean, he's one of them players to me that excites and switches things on. Dalian Atkinson, I pinched a pair of his boots this week. I said I need a pair of boots, and Dalian give me them, and I said, what will they give me? And he said to me, well, they'll learn you how to stand with your hands on your hips.
All right, Peter, we've got an update from the third test match. England are 310 for 9 in the test, and so they're still hanging on grimly with a good chance of a decent lead. Now, the teams, I believe, are about to come out. Let's get some commentary, shall we? This is the one we've been waiting for, the 5 o'clock kickoff, and your commentary team for the Coca-Cola Cup final is Alan Green, Jimmy Armfield, and first, our correspondent Mike Ingham.
Well, it's a Sunday. It's not going to be a traditional 3 o'clock kickoff. The whole of the sporting world isn't tuned in, and the sponsors seem to change every year. And even though the League Cup final doesn't stay in the memory as long as an FA Cup final, for the management, the players, the supporters of Aston Villa and Manchester United in this famous old arena, this matters as the two teams come out. As David Meek said to us about half an hour ago, this is the supreme stage for Aston Villa and Manchester United. And as we look down away to our left, a little break of tradition just about at the head of the procession party, behind the two managers, Ron Atkinson to the left and Alex Ferguson to the right. We have two 12-year-old supporters, mascots for the day, mascots for a day they'll never forget. From Worcester, leading out Aston Villa, Ivan McDougall in the claret and blue. And from Altrincham, realising every little boy's dream, wearing the colours of Manchester United, we have Nick Simon. Although the afternoon and the game is about to belong to the two teams in particular, just at the moment, on these occasions, the attention very much on the two managers, walking slowly out together. Ron Atkins says he loves coming to Wembley because it enables him to buy a new suit. Well, it looks good to me, all grey, but forget about the flash one-liners. The appeal of today lies much deeper than that. Ron Atkinson says he's led teams out in some of the greatest stadiums in the world, but Wembley has the greatest atmosphere of them all, and he's just waving to the Villa fans away to the right as his team line up on the left. Alex Ferguson, who goes to the right, he's getting used to visiting this old place, but he says today is different as he speaks to Keith Cooper, the referee, for the first time. Looks a little bit cold down there, does Mr. Ferguson. It is windy now and a little cold. Pity they didn't start at 3 o'clock. We'd have had some sunshine. But he says today, this is the best Manchester United team he's ever brought to Wembley. And you get the feeling that the rest of his season could well be shaped by what happens here this afternoon. We have on the Wembley pitch the band of the Irish Guards. We have now the presentation of the two sides to Gordon McKeag, president of the Football League, introducing to Kevin Richardson, the Aston Villa captain, the guest of honour, Nat Lofthouse, and a cheeky little word, I'm sure, from him to Kevin Richardson, because remember, just a week or two ago, Bolton knocked Aston Villa out of the FA Cup. So Nat Lofthouse, who had his great day here against Manchester United in 1958, goes down the Villa line. Kevin Richardson, like his manager, appearing in this final with his third different club, and he introduces the team. One or two people have labelled Dad's Army because there's a nucleus of the side, the wrong side of 30. It's a team that could soon be broken up, but a team perhaps with just the right sort of experience for this day. Apart from one 19-year-old there, Graham Fenton, who's come in at the last minute here in place of Ray Houghton. Paul McGrath, the last to meet Nat Lofthouse, and Nat Lofthouse just punches Ron Atkinson playfully on the cheek. And that's the Aston Villa introductions made away to the left. One or two Manchester United players feeling the cold, jumping up and down, waiting to take part in the introductions themselves. Many of those Villa players, Richardson, Saunders, Barrett, McGrath, Staunton, they've all been to Wembley before. Perhaps the key men might be the ones that haven't. People like Daly and Atkinson, Mark Bosnich, and Tony Daly, who's never played in a cup final before. Well, now Steve Bruce shakes hands with Nat Lofthouse. Steve Bruce has got a pennant in his left hand, a red one, which he's going to exchange in just a few moments with Kevin Richardson. Bruce, who was a Wembley winner here with Norwich back in 1985, one of the most popular characters in the game, and he's introducing all of his team. Now Mark Hughes is shaking hands with Nat Lofthouse. Three of the really key men in this United side, though, will be the players who didn't play in the final in 1992. Eric Cantona, who said this morning about his appearance as he waits almost last in line to meet Nat Lofthouse, I have only one answer to give, and that will be on the Wembley pitch today against Aston Villa. Roy Keane as well, who's about to shake hands with Nat Lofthouse. He'll have to behave himself today. 7 yellow cards he's picked up this season. He's playing against lots of his friends in opposition today in the Aston Villa side, Republic of Ireland colleagues, and perhaps the other key man in this Manchester United team, Les Seeley, the goalkeeper. Schmeichel's made 88 consecutive appearances, but Les Seeley comes in for the first time since the European Cup Winners' Cup final of 1991 to play for Manchester United. And if Stan Boardman has been relaxing the Villa players on the coach here coming today, I'm sure Les Seeley's been doing the same for Manchester United. David Pleat describes him as a man with a master's degree in winding people up. So the referee also shakes hands with the officials. We have a representative from the sponsors, Coca-Cola, down there as well. That Lofthouse stands on the halfway line. A breezy afternoon now here at Wembley. The Irish Guards wait, and we will have for the supporters and everyone here the national anthem. And so we're all set. The League Cup, I think, owes football a classic final. There hasn't been one in recent times. As the two teams break, Villa to the right, that's where all their supporters are. Manchester United to the left. Just a little word of warning to whoever scores the winning goal here today. Don't let your captain throw you up in the air afterwards. This is a nice way to close one BBC Radio Sports chapter before 5 Live tomorrow, a Wembley Cup final with Alan Green.
And my first very pleasant duty is to give you the two lineups for this Coca-Cola Cup final. And let's start with Manchester United. In goal, Seeley. Schmeichel, of course, suspended. The defenders are Parker, Bruce, Pallister and Irwin. Irwin playing in his fourth final in 5 years. In midfield, Kanchelskis fit again. Ince, Keane and Giggs. Up front, Hughes and the Frenchman Cantona playing in his very first Wembley final. Now Aston Villa have in goal a man once at Old Trafford, Bosnich. Their defenders, Barrett, Teal, McGrath and Staunton, who of the 22 players out there is the most recent Wembley winner, winning the FA Cup with Liverpool just 2 seasons ago. Now we're expecting 5 in the Villa midfield. Atkinson dropping deep and playing from the right side. Richardson, Townsend, the first final for Townsend after losing 5 semi-finals. Graham Fenton, the 19-year-old, he's the surprise choice, preferred today to Ray Houghton, and Daly wide on the left. Up front, Saunders. The two skippers, Steve Bruce and Kevin Richardson, shake hands. Customary photograph inside the centre circle before the toss of the coin. I remember earlier this season watching Sunderland slaughter Villa at Roker Park in this competition and lose 4-1. I watched Tranmere go as close as you can to knocking them out in the semi-final. Both legs they dominated, but Villa survived. Can Villa now impede Manchester United's march to the treble? And remember today too, not the least of the things at stake, a place in the UEFA Cup next season. Some final thoughts from Jimmy Armfield.
I think it's stacked against Villa in many respects. It's a bit of an untried line in the respect that Fenton's coming to the side, and I expect that Ron Atkinson must be feeling that he's hoping that young Fenton and Atkinson can get some runs from midfield at Manchester United's back four to try and keep them under control. I see much more of a defensive role for Richardson in the midfield and Townsend, but I think basically if Manchester United play to their full capabilities, then they must start as clear favourites.
Now Villa are wearing their customary strip in claret and blue shirts, white shorts and white stockings. Manchester United are wearing what my son Simon calls their cheese and onion strip. Yellow and green halves, shirts, then black shorts and black stockings. The referee Keith Cooper from Pontypridd gets us underway. They've switched ends, so Villa will be playing from left to right as we look out in this first half. Their backs to the tunnel end and playing towards the bulk of their supporters. Villa in possession down the near side, their right. Daly and Atkinson infield to the skipper Richardson. Now Atkinson again. A lot will depend on the pace of Atkinson today, running at the United central defence. It's played wide to the far side, and Staunton scooped forward to his Irish international colleague Townsend. Townsend is beaten. It's taken up by Daly, left edge of the penalty area. He crosses low, and Pallister it was who flicks the clearance away out of his penalty area, and then there's a foul on Roy Keane, and it will be a free kick to Manchester United. The early moments Of course, so important. It doesn't matter how often you've been to Wembley Stadium, and many of these Manchester United players are now making their 7th visit to Wembley in just 4 years since the FA Cup final in 1990. But these are tense early moments for both teams. Manchester United in possession with Bruce, their captain, right side of the midfield, just chips it forward, and Teal runs across towards the far side and flicks the ball out of play. It will be a throw into United, and it's midway inside the Villa half, down the United right flank. It's thrown down to Kanchelskis, and busy Kanchelskis runs to the right side of the penalty area. Then he leaves it wide, and United can't make progress. It's headed away, but Parker picks it up once more. Forward to Kanchelskis. Keane available. It's Kanchelskis who runs forward. Takes the return ball from Keane. Kanchelskis crosses high. Too high for Hughes. And Atkinson chasing back. Heads it behind for the first corner of the game. Just over a minute gone. And it goes to Manchester United. Giggs will take it from the near side. That's the United left. And Bosnich waits inside the penalty area. Giggs whips it in. Bosnich stretches. Flicks the ball away with both hands. It's half cleared. One back by United. Kanchelskis, edge of the penalty area. To Hughes. Back it goes to Bruce. Bruce stabs it forward. Claims it was handball against Staunton. Not given. And then Daly rather careless with possession. Gives it to Pallister, but Daly has a second chance on the far side. And Daly can run it away for Aston Villa. Now that's a good ball infield to Saunders. Still short of the halfway line. Back to Richardson. Stabbed down the right side. Atkinson, Daly and Atkinson is after it, but good header away by Irwin. Finds Giggs, and Giggs clears, but only to Richardson. Dean Saunders takes it up again for Aston Villa. 2 minutes played. No score at Wembley in this League Cup final between Manchester United and Aston Villa. Earl Barrett, the right back. 20 yards inside the United half. Left by young Fenton to Townsend. Fenton again. Then was he brought down by Bruce? Well, the referee, Keith Cooper, plainly yards inside the United half. Left by young Fenton to Townsend. Fenton again. Then was he brought down by Bruce? Well, the referee, Keith Cooper, plainly indicates he thought that was a dive.
Yes. What an encouraging start by both teams. The ball's being knocked around with some confidence. You know, there doesn't look to be any Wembley nerves anywhere. Both teams are actually knocking the ball about. Very encouraging start for the fans. Young Fenton there tried to get through Bruce. He pushed the ball. I think it went through Bruce's legs, but he fell over the tackle. I didn't consider that a foul.
He's very highly thought of, is young Fenton. I know he's been on loan to West Brom this season. He scored 3 goals in barely a fortnight playing for them. But recalled now to Villa and making a dramatic appearance in a Wembley Cup final. His side in possession at the moment, and McGrath, who once donned the shirt of Manchester United, plays the ball back to Bosnich, another former United player. Out to Teal. Now Richardson makes himself available, gets the ball, gives it to Townsend. Back it goes to Staunton, down the left side. Chips it forward. Fenton goes to it, but it's headed away by Parker. Met by McGrath. Dainty little back heel by McGrath towards Saunders, but Manchester United have the ball again. Ryan Giggs runs infield and runs straight into Richardson, and Richardson plays the ball away. Good tackle by the skipper. Saunders on the halfway line to Fenton. Townsend takes it up, but they're squeezed out there by the pressure imposed by Parker, and then Manchester United play it forward, but it's well ahead of Giggs and harmlessly through to Bosnich.
Richardson's made a good start for Villa, and I think he's got a key role today. He's playing in front of the back four. He's trying to stop Manchester United getting easily at Teal and McGrath. And he's put a couple of good challenges in already, and he's also tried to get up in support of his front players.
He's been a losing finalist, says Richardson, with both Everton and Arsenal. And this is the only domestic medal he's yet to win. Ryan Giggs for Manchester United, down the left side, being hustled by Barrett, and Barrett hustles Irwin finally into an error. Ball goes out of play, and it's a throw into Aston Villa. Barrett takes it to Richardson again, heavily involved in play, but Hughes takes the ball away from him. Slips it to Cantona. The first involvement really of the Frenchman in the game. We played 5 minutes, no score at Wembley. Kanchelskis down the right side. Parker in support. Keane on the far side, and Keane wins the throw in off the legs of Sean Teal and Parker will take this throw. Now it's level with the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area, down the Manchester United right. We'll wait for Parker to choose his option. He throws it to Kanchelskis, close to the corner flag, and immediately it's Atkinson who makes the challenge on the far side, hits it out of play once more, and Paul Parker gains about 10 yards. He's very close to the corner flag with his throw in now. Cantona made himself available and wasn't marked. Cantona crosses into the box. It was Giggs with a header. My word, if it had been Hughes, that would have been on target. As it is, it's wide. It's a goal kick.
Manchester United have started the better. Seeley hasn't had to touch the ball yet. We've played 5 minutes. One or two good passes, particularly down the right side. Kanchelskis and Cantona are getting in the act, and Parker's been pushing forward. So there's going to be a lot of pressure, I think, on Staunton, of course, who's had an injury. I think United will test him.
Bosnich with a goal kick for Aston Villa. The hero, of course, and the villain in the semi-final against Tranmere. Saving all those penalties, but arguably shouldn't have been on the field. Manchester United come forward from the clearance, though. In to Hughes. Great run by Hughes out to the penalty area. He shoots, it's blocked. Magnificent blocking challenge by Richardson and McGrath. It was a dual challenge, and Villa survived, but for how much longer? Ince comes forward. Giggs plays it to the left towards Irwin, and Barrett seemed to butt into Irwin. Irwin thought he was impeded. That should have been a free kick. It's a goal kick.
Yes, and I think Barrett got a knock on his thigh for his trouble there. If he has, that'll be a bit tender later on. But as you say, it was a great challenge. McGrath and Richardson combined together really to put the block on Hughes, because he was careering through the middle.
In the cricket, by the way, at lunch England are 320 for 9. That's a lead of 68 over the West Indies. Full cricket commentary on Radio 4 Longway. Ball is out of play on the near side of the field, and Irwin was bundled over by Fenton. He's quite a physical boy. Has he won a free kick, Dennis Irwin? I think he has, yes, for that rather aggressive, enthusiastic challenge from young Fenton. He plays it back to Pallister. Now Irwin again, down the Manchester United left. Lofted forward, but beyond Hughes. McGrath's in there, gets the ball to Barrett. Back it goes to Sean Teal, and Teal across the edge of his penalty area to Steve Staunton, who arguably is still a little short of full match fitness for Aston Villa. He curls the ball upfield towards Townsend down the far side. Keane was with Townsend and hits it out of play. It's a throw into Aston Villa. 7 minutes played at Wembley Stadium. No score between Villa and United in this League Cup final. The throw-in is to Daly. Daly hesitates. Kanchelskis robs him. Gets it forward to Cantona. Kanchelskis again. Lovely one-touch football. Cantona again. Kanchelskis. Wonderful move by United down the right side. Then Teal had a yard start. Gets the ball out of play, and it's nothing worse than a throw-in. But that was a great break, Jimmy Armfield.
Certainly was. They're very confident, United. Despite one or two things that have happened to them. You know, they're knocking the ball around really well at the moment. I think Alex Ferguson will be delighted by the way his team has started.
Parker's throw-in to Cantona, right side of the penalty area. He crosses low. Giggs will stretch, and again there was a suggestion that Barrett impeded Giggs, but the ball is through to Bosnich. The referee's having none of it, and it's still 0-0.
I think that's a fair challenge in there. Physically got himself in front of Giggs. I think you've got to expect physical challenge in this game, and I thought that was a fair barge there.
Bosnich out of his penalty area before he hits the clearance upfield left-footed. Atkinson rises, Pallister heads it away from Manchester United. Not once, but twice. Then Richardson with a header down to Townsend. Back on the ground it is now. Staunton down the left side. Forward to Daly. Good first touch to Townsend. Infield to Daly again. Then Daly is beaten, and the ball squirts back to Pallister. The pass back to Seeley, and that's Seeley's first touch in the game. We've played nearly 9 minutes. He whacks the clearance away over the halfway line. Keane for Manchester United. Back to the captain Bruce, and Bruce with a great crossfield ball for a central defender. Right to the feet of Giggs. First touch down to Cantona, just over the halfway line. What a shame they boo him. Cantona moves infield and then slips it away to the far side to Kanchelskis. Kanchelskis then cuts infield as well. He's looking to play the 1-2 with Hughes. It goes back instead to Ince. Ince shoots first time. He wastes the effort. It's behind for a goal kick.
A snapshot as much as anything else. He was a bit eager to get his shot in as much as anything. But it was a good run from Kanchelskis. I think he started really well on the right side. He really has come on. His game's come on quite a lot in the last 2 or 3.
Midfield for Villa. Back to Staunton. Forward to Daly. Daly, though, is robbed by Paul Ince. That was a great challenge by the England midfielder. Forward it goes to Cantona and stabbed down the right side. Now Kanchelskis is quick, but Teal's also very quick for such a big man. Gets there first and hits it out of play to the crowd on the far side. It will be a throw-in to Manchester United. I would have thought over most races I would have fancied Kanchelskis to beat Teal, but Teal was very quick there. Kanchelskis takes the throw-in. Back to Parker, middle of the Villa half. Infield to Ince, forward to Keane. Lovely back heel to Kanchelskis. First time cross, blocked by Staunton, and it rebounds out of play for another throw into Manchester United. 11 minutes played. United 0, Villa 0 in the Coca-Cola Cup final. A rather cloudy Wembley. It was a lovely day earlier, lots of blue sunshine, blue sky and sunshine. Not so now. Fenton for Villa. Forward to Saunders, left for Atkinson. If he can curl it through, Saunders is down the right side. He gets it to Fenton now. Atkinson ahead of him. Oh, the youngster played the wrong ball, squeezed it between both Atkinson and Saunders and threw harmlessly to Seeley.
I think the ploy really is to get Atkinson running at Manchester United's back four. Saunders to me is playing as a front man, and he's the one who's taking the weight. We've got Atkinson out on the right side, Daly out on the left.
Cantona tries to curl the ball to Hughes. It's headed down by Barrett, but Hughes picks it up. Now Giggs, left side of the penalty area, and Barrett does the blocking challenge, hits it out of play. It will be a throw into Manchester United. About 8 yards from the corner flag down this near side of the field. That's the Manchester left. Irwin with a throw in. Giggs close by. Cantona inside the penalty area. Ince about 20 yards to his right. Irwin hesitates. Now he throws to Cantona. Cantona leans into the defender, keeps the ball, turns it onto his right foot. He's looking to lay it off, and he finally clips it away across field. Bruce chases towards the far side. He'll keep it in play, no question about that. Bruce short of the halfway line though, and then plays it back towards the near side, the Manchester left. Pallister, the central defender, takes it. Now to the full-back Irwin, 8 yards inside the Villa half. Irwin on his right foot, gives the simple pass to Ince, forward to Hughes. Irwin again, Giggs down the left side. Good movement from Manchester United. Giggs infield away from Barrett, into the penalty, crosses low, and it's stabbed goalwards by Hughes, just wide. He didn't quite connect properly, but it almost beat Bosnich nevertheless.
Well, that was lovely play by Manchester United. It started with Cantona having the ball on the left side. It went right across to Bruce, right the way back to Irwin, a 1-2 with Ince. Then a lovely touch by Hughes, which put Giggs in on the left-hand side. And when Giggs drove his cross over, Hughes got the outside of his right foot to it. I thought he was in for a second. It just trickled past the post. Villa never even got a touch on the ball.
United certainly dominant in these opening 14 minutes, but it remains Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Bosnich with a goal kick, just reaches the halfway line. Richardson tries to feed it down the left side. It's headed away by Cantona, and Parker's up there, and then he's tackled by Staunton. Staunton will run into Cantona, and the ball's on the halfway line. The Frenchman has it. He pulls off 2 challenges, plays it forward to Giggs, running infield. Giggs' touch wasn't quite what he meant, but he still finds a United player. Parker on the far side to Bruce, infield to Cantona. Cantona very, very deep in these opening 15 minutes, effective nevertheless. Cantona forward to Kanchelskis. Back it goes to Bruce. United patient. They've got possession. Why should they hurry? Cantona to Bruce once more, right of the centre circle, on the halfway line now, across into Villa territory. Gives the ball to Keane. Back it goes to Parker. Villa with everybody behind the ball and seemingly happy at the moment that United knocked the ball amongst themselves. Now Pallister comes forward, left side of the centre circle, finds Irwin down the left flank, infield to Hughes. Giggs available. Hughes gives it to Ince. Now to Giggs. The pass was a little wayward. Still finds Irwin. Irwin back over the halfway line once more. Pallister to Keane, and Richardson in late on Keane. That's a free kick, and should be a ticking off for Kevin Richardson. Just for a second I thought Keith Cooper was reaching into his pocket for a card.
I think it must be for his hanky. They've had about 8 passes then. About 8 passes there. Villa couldn't get a touch on the ball. A bit of frustration really from Kevin Richardson. He came in challenging from the back because the Villa players were actually chasing around after Manchester United passes. But they didn't make any real significant progress.
Quarter of an hour gone. Pallister with a free kick. He hit it poorly. McGrath knocks the clearance over the halfway line, and Saunders chases upfield. The pass back by Bruce to Seeley. Comfortably cleared. Richardson meets it. Saunders is in an offside position. No flag from the linesman, and a few of the United defenders were looking across as if to say why. Keane, though, has the ball for Manchester United, short of the halfway line. Forward to Cantona. Then back to Ensign. Had to use his hand to try to control the ball, and that'll be a free kick to Villa inside the centre circle. But they're really struggling to get possession at the moment, Aston Villa. 16 minutes play. Villa free kick. Richardson to Townsend. Now to Saunders. Back to Richardson. 35 yards from goal. Chips it forward ahead of Atkinson. Headed away by Bruce and scooped clear by Pallister towards Hughes. Hughes does well. Finds Cantona. Lovely touch to Keane. Keane tried to flick it to the right side to Kanchelskis. It hit Teal, and Teal with a pass back now to Bosnich. Oh, Bosnich, that was rather rash. He put Staunton under pressure, but Staunton did well. Played the 1-2 with Teal. Now moves inside the United half. Good run by Staunton. He's made 50 yards. Flicks it infield now. Fenton, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Richardson, the captain, available. Where's the width on the right side? It's played into the box, but beyond Saunders, straight through to Seeley. I mean, Richardson was looking for width there, and you think with 5 across the midfield, Villa would have had some. They didn't.
No, what had happened was Atkinson had run right across field. I watched him. He made a crossfield run into the centre to support Saunders.
17 minutes gone. No score in the Coca-Cola Cup final from Wembley. It's 17 minutes past 5 in the evening. What a weird kick-off time. Inside the centre circle. Back to Bruce. Still inside the Manchester United half, and Bruce unhurried. There's no challenge on him. He moves inside Villa territory. He's got Parker to his right, and he just plays the ball 6 yards to Parker. Infield to Bruce again. Forward to Cantona. Always looks slightly untidy, that shirt, always outside his shorts, but the quality of his pass puts Keane forward. Keane running towards the penalty area. 1-2 with Hughes. Keane heads it goalwards. Bosnich palms it away, and Manchester United very close to taking the lead.
Well, I was surprised, really. He took a diving header on it. I thought he was going to volley it. He seemed to have the time. It was a lovely exchange with Keane to Hughes. He flicked it up. Keane run in, put a diving header. Bosnich saved it. I'm sure he would have volleyed it. I don't think Bosnich would have had a chance.
Very strange save from Bosnich. I mean, he was crouching.
He saved it, though. He kept it out, Alan. That was the main thing.
Irwin with a throw in for Manchester United. Level with the edge of the Villa penalty area. Throws to Ince. Back to Irwin. Ince again. Keane. Gigs down the left side. It's all Manchester at the moment. Villa really struggling to make any progress whatsoever. Barrett clears to the halfway line. Saunders can only head it on. And there's Pallister. And how confident of Pallister. Lovely dink pass to Bruce. Bruce to Parker on the far side. This pressure, if it continues, must lead to a Manchester goal. Pallister outside his own penalty area. Gives it to Bruce. And Villa having to defend for almost the whole of these opening 19 minutes. Bruce to Hughes, who's come deep. Bruce once more. Kanchelskis down the right side. Bruce switches the attack. Picks out Cantona. Great control by Cantona, and then the pass, for once, from the Frenchman wasn't so good. It's through to Bosnich.
The problem I think Villa have got at the moment is Saunders is a front man, and what's happening is Manchester United's back four are getting plenty of the ball, and they're good enough players to make use of it without any real challenge to me. And I think that's a slight problem that Villa have got by flooding the midfield.
This is Villa's 6th League Cup final. That equals the previous record held by Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, and they've won this competition 3 times. But Manchester United, their 3rd final in 4 years, a second home clearly to the Alex Ferguson side. Here's Hughes turning away from one challenge, then loses out in a second, and there's a little skirmish on the floor. I think the ball was just trapped, and the referee quickly in there to intervene. There'll be a drop ball presumably, and he waits while Keane comes forward. He'll face Richardson and drops the ball. It squirts back to Teal. Teal curls the clearance upfield, and Saunders heads on, but he's got no support whatsoever. Pallister has the ball for Manchester United. 20 minutes play. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Long ball played upfield. Bosnich well out of his penalty area. Now he blocked Keane, and the referee says that was a dive. Well, it certainly wasn't, quote, a professional foul, but he certainly seemed to impede the Irishman there. The ball is cleared, boos ring round Wembley, and the ball is out of play. Now, James.
I didn't see it as a deliberate foul. What happened was it was a long ball that was knocked forward by Keane, and knocked forward, and Keane chased after it. And when Bosnich came out, I thought he sort of just stood his ground as much as anything. And I wouldn't surprise me if he'd have given a free kick, but really, I don't think there's anything intentional.
Staunton for Villa, down the left side, early cross into the penalty area. Atkinson will chase, put a little bit of pressure on Irwin, and succeeds in putting pressure on the Irishman, because Irwin concedes the corner. It's Villa's first corner of the game. It's taken a long while to come, 21 minutes.
Certainly has. One thing I will say, I don't know what Bosnich was doing out there, really. He must have been, 7 or 8 yards outside his own penalty area, and I think he realised his error in judgment. I think he stood his ground as much as anything.
So the boos are still coming up for the referee. Nevertheless, it's a Villa corner. Staunton to take it from the near side. That's the Villa right. Now he hits this left-footed, so Seeley must beware. Staunton curls it in towards the near post, and it's headed behind by Keane once more. Now I'm sure, it wasn't a case of the goalkeeper coming out and deliberately pulling the player down, but he did stand in his way.
Yes, he did. Yes, I agree with that. I think that's what I'm saying. That was the point I was trying to make. I wouldn't have been surprised, I said, if there'd have been a free kick. I don't think it was what I would call a sending off offence.
No, clearly not.
No. But he did stand and block his route.
Staunton again with a corner from the right. Again left-footed. Hit deeper this time, and Steely is stretching, and Steely flicks it over the crossbar. He was under pressure there. Another corner to Aston Villa, but this time it's from the far side. Will Staunton run across? I think he wants to take this corner, and he does. He sprints away. We're close to the midway point in the second half, and the first sign of any pressure from Aston Villa. Staunton to take the corner. Again left-footed, but this one surely out towards the edge of the penalty area. It's driven low. Fenton stabs the goal. There seemed to be a handball there by Bruce. Maybe not intentional. Manchester United clear. It's out of play, and we'll take you through to half-time. Here's Mike Ingham.
Well, Les Seeley just answers the first question in the United goal. Peter Schmeichel, in the meantime, sits down below on the bench, wondering, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's got his own thoughts about the Bosnich incident a few moments ago. When there's an opportunity, we'll hear from Frank Stapleton and Peter With on that as well. In the meantime, Aston Villa now encouraged by their recent spell of aggression, forcing corners, looking to Fenton to go forward, and they've won a free kick. Free kick about 15 yards inside the Manchester United half. Villa in the claret and blue. Manchester United at times almost camouflaged down there with the green and white against the pitch. Townsend's free kick. Good running by Saunders into the area. Pallister takes the ball out of the area. Keane rather takes the ball out of the area, and it's still in play down below us. Hughes, foot on the ball. Lovely flick from Hughes. Giggs reading his intentions well. Giggs going up towards the halfway line. Slots it down the left-hand side where we find Kanchelskis for the first time. Down the United left. The players are waiting for Kanchelskis. He's going square. Rolls it across the field to Cantona. Parker's made a move on the outside. Cantona takes too long, and Townsend dispossesses him in midfield. Townsend brings the ball over the halfway line. The game opens up. He finds Saunders. Not a good first touch, but Saunders still goes forward for Aston Villa. He's getting bunched up now. Still Saunders. Square ball for Staunton. Down the Villa left. Left-footed ball comes crashing in, hits Parker. The flag went up for offside down here. Referee, though, allows Parker to give the back pass to Seeley, and Seeley sweeps it back long up towards the halfway line. Teal against Cantona, out of play. Quickly, Peter With, your thoughts on that Bosnich episode?
Yeah, I think that he's just coming out of the box. He wants to cover anything that's played over the top because of the pace of Manchester United, and he was committed. He just stood his ground as far as I was concerned. He ended up just running into the player. No free kick as far as I'm concerned.
Frank Stapleton, agree?
Well, I agree with what the referee did. I think he's having a very good game. I thought he lost Roy Keane's touch on the ball. If it had been better, the referee would have had to make a decision. But I think in this situation, he was 100% right.
25 minutes gone in the first half. You're listening to BBC National Radio 5, live from Wembley, the 1994 League Cup final. And Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 0. And it's a free kick to Villa just down below us on the right-hand side. Touched in field for number 10, Dalian Atkinson, playing wide on the right today. shovel back by Fenton to Townsend. Flick from Saunders. In goes Atkinson in the area. Atkinson shoots, and it's there! Aston Villa go in front. Dalian Atkinson, the key man in the League Cup this season, scores his 6th goal in the competition. Atkinson scores for Atkinson here. And even though Manchester United have made a marvellous start, they now find themselves a goal behind. 27 minutes gone in the first half. Villa 1, United 0. Dalian Atkinson.
Well, let's give full marks to Villa. First of all, it was a good move. Townsend knocked the ball up to Saunders. Saunders were on the edge of the D, and it was a lovely little touch. Right-footed, and it caught United central defenders. I thought for a second that Atkinson, who'd made the run down the middle, was offside. But I think Parker played him on, if anybody did, but the linesman, I looked and read the linesman, his flag stayed down, Atkinson ran on, his pace took him on, as Seeley came out, right side, his right foot, the outside of his right foot, and it trickled agonisingly over the line. So that's just the tonic that Villa needed. They've had to do a lot of defending. Here they are, they find themselves in front.
And now Daly, Tony Daly for Aston Villa. Atkinson, Dalian has had a quiet start, but he's scored explosively for Aston Villa. Saunders made it for him. Saunders finds Richardson. The ball comes down the Villa right. Barrett's cross looks to be too near to Les Seeley, and it's out of play for a goal kick to Manchester United. So now let's hear from Peter Witt on that Dalian Atkinson goal.
Well, it's obvious that Ron said to him, whenever you get the opportunity, make runs inside. It was a great ball that he played in, Saunders. And Dalian, with his pace, is always likely to do them sort of things. His touch wasn't the best, but in the end it was just enough to get it past Seeley. As far as I'm concerned, great goal.
Frank Stapleton.
Well, obviously a great tonic for the Aston Villa against the run of play. But now United, we're going to have to see what they're made of. With a goal down, after dominating so much of the game, it'll be interesting to see what they come back with.
Aston Villa 1, Manchester United 0. What could that do to the treble hopes as Giggs wastes the ball, plays it into the Villa penalty area, and that's too near to the goalkeeper, Mark Bosnich. Earlier in the week there was a doubt about Dalian Atkinson's fitness, but Ron Atkinson, feeling that he was crucial to his side, said, if there's one player United could leave out of my side, it would be Dalian Atkinson. He was the man who put the holders Arsenal out of the competition this season. He's now scored 6 times in the League Cup, and Villa lead by 1 goal to 0, and they might take a little bit of breaking down now. There's a Villa player lying injured on the halfway line, but Atkinson's got the ball once more. They might have to stop the game here now so that Jim Walker can come on, and we can just collect ourselves up here in the commentary box now and consider this opening half an hour. It's a very good cup final, Jimmy Armfield.
Very good. Richardson's the man who's got a knock. It was Paul McGrath who came in jumping in for a header there, and he's actually cut Richardson on the back of the head. It's a very good cup final. Manchester United start really was top class. Some of the passing really was very good, but I give credit to Villa's back four. I think they stood the test well, and we had this, they must have had one agonising moment when this exchange, which Hughes was injured off, then the another one, Keane had a header. I thought he should have volleyed, but Villa had a couple of escapes, and then suddenly here they are in front. United fans have gone very quiet. That's the Villa fans you can hear. So perhaps now that tonic will lift Villa, because previously, you know, they've been very much second best.
Well, Kevin Richardson's okay. He's really got a very important part to play in central midfield with Andy Townsend against Inson Keane. United give the ball back again. Bosnich almost unaware of the ball coming towards him then, but he looks up and sees it in front of him and makes the save, and he can now clear from left to right. And Dalian Atkinson scored a crucial goal in this competition, I remember, at Tranmere, when they were losing 3-0 Villa, almost the last kick of the match. That made it 3-1, and it gave Villa a little bit of a platform at least to take to Villa Park for the return, where he scored again. And now Manchester United are trying to respond. Kanchelskis down the far side. This is the United right in the first half. He's got 2 Villa players tangling because Daly's coming back to help out Staunton, but Kanchelskis goes forward, plays the ball in the area. Teal slips. All Fenton can do is set it up for Cantona, and Cantona mishits that wide of Bosnich's goal. That was awkward there for Aston Villa, but it was good from Ron Atkinson's point of view, I think, to see Tony Daly coming back immediately to help out Steve Staunton against Kanchelskis. Daly didn't do enough of that against Pat Nevin in the semi-final. Ron Atkinson stands. He shows us his suit down there, the dark suit. Alex Ferguson's wearing his Manchester United colours, sitting alongside Brian Kidd. Ron Atkinson has his arms folded His assistant Jim Barron's doing a little bit of pointing out there. No way can they get their instructions across in this noise, though. They can't be heard. Richardson has recovered from the injury. Square ball down the Villa left. Daly, he was caught there by Parker. Gets it back again once more. Goes past Roy Keane. And then Daly slips on the ball. That was unlucky. And it's out of play for a United throw deep in defence. Parker finds Keane. And it's out of play again. 1-0 to Aston Villa. The goal scored by Daly and Atkinson for Aston Villa. The ball now down the far side. Manchester United's right. Cantona trying to turn away from trouble, but gives it straight to Paul McGrath. Played back by Staunton for Aston Villa. Cushioned nicely on the chest by Bruce, the United captain. And now they come across towards us down this near side. Pallister, unchallenged, goes inside the Villa half. Gives it to Giggs now, faced by Barrett. Giggs skips in field. He's got Irwin on the outside. He gets nowhere. Runs into trouble. Teal says to McGrath, calm down, because he's given it away. Back come Manchester United once more. Irwin touches it down the left-hand side. Giggs wins the corner. That was good play by Giggs. Wins the corner off Daly and Atkinson. We go into the last 15 minutes of the first half, and it's Villa leading Manchester United by 1-0. Corner kick to United. Giggs to take it. Steve Bruce and Pallister go forward. Left-footed corner by Giggs, headed away by McGrath. Kanchelskis controls edge of the area. Little dink ball by Cantona. When it eventually headed away by Villa, and the flag's gone up over on the far side. And that's going to be a free kick to Aston Villa. And let's just have another quick word from our guests, Peter With and Frank Stapleton. How do you see it at the moment, Peter?
Well, I'm delighted, of course, for Aston Villa, because the goal in front. It's interesting with Ron Atkinson, the system that he's played. What he's ended up doing is when they lose possession, they've got the boy Fenton dropping in, and they are making up a 5. But he's got two wide people in Daly and Atkinson, and in Tony Daly, who have got a lot of pace, who are giving cover to the fullbacks, and they're working very, very hard to get behind the ball when they've lost possession of the ball. But of course they've got pace to now hit them on the break, which they did do for the goal.
Frank Stapleton's thoughts in a moment when there's a break. Now we can bring you in, Frank.
Yeah, it's interesting what Peter said. It's playing 3v2 in midfield, and after the initial opening by Man United, they've got on top with Townsend, Richardson and Fenton, both showing up, as Peter said, working tremendously hard to stop United from actually getting through, and this has made a difference, particularly at this stage of the game.
The ball is with United just inside the Villa half. Kanchelskis is bringing it across the field, and Keane takes over. Keane now drifting down the left-hand side. Irwin playing in his 4th League Cup final in 5 years. He looks for Giggs down the United left. The crowd appeal for handball against Earl Barrett. It's a throw into Manchester United, level with the edge of the Villa area, left-hand side of the field. Irwin holds the ball and looks for Cantona on the edge of the area. Cantona's going to try and flick this one over to the far post, and Staunton heads it behind for a corner. Corner kick to Manchester United down the right-hand side of the field. Giggs looks like he's going to take it. Villa, runners-up in the league to United last season. They've had a very disappointing season this time in the league, but they've saved their best stuff for the League Cup, no doubt about that. They've had some great results, and they lead Manchester United, the favourites, by 1-0. They're now defending a corner kick, though, taken by Ryan Giggs, and it's an easy one for Bosnich.
Yes, Giggs looking for the in-swinger there for Bruce, and Bosnich was ready for it. Took it with quite comfortably. Important time for Manchester United now. I feel that the midfield hasn't quite been as penetrative as it was early in the match. We've had a shot from Cantona which really, lacked confidence as much as anything. He just seemed to swing at it and it went high and wide. We've got to get the game together again. Villa, though, will be quite happy the way things have gone, particularly the way they've defended.
10 minutes to go in the first half. You're listening to BBC National Radio 5, the League Cup final of 1994. Villa lead 1-0. Manchester United go forward. Keane finds Hughes, edge of the area. Lovely first touch from Hughes. He looks down the left-hand side. Irwin was trying to go forward. Appeared to be pushed off the ball by Atkinson, but referee was happy, Keith Cooper. United lose their way in midfield. They look to Cantona to try and win it back. He slides the ball back to number 16, Roy Keane, who holds just inside the Villa half. Ince, unable just at the moment to dominate for Manchester United. Richardson and Townsend have stepped up their game. Keane again, brushed off the ball by Teal. Teal now down the Villa left, over on the far side. tried to filter it down for Tony Daly, couldn't get the ball past Paul Parker, and it's a throw to Aston Villa. The only time these sides previously met in a final, in 1957, Villa were also the underdogs that day against the Busby Babes and lost 2-1, won by 2-1 to Manchester United. Could history be about to repeat itself here today? Peter McParland's day then, remember, 2 goals. Now a Villa free kick. Richardson brought down from behind by Mark Hughes. Free kick to Villa, just inside the United half. Everybody coming back from the Manchester side, including Cantona. Centre of the field, Richardson the captain. He has a little look around. Daly's in space over on the far side, calling for it. Richardson just spots him. Where's he going to place it? Looks for Atkinson to flick it on for Saunders. Saunders gets goal side of Pallister. Bruce will have to come in and help him out. And in the end, Parker gets it out of the area. Lovely skills from Cantona, then a poor ball looking for Hughes. Villa knock it back again to the penalty area, and away by Steve Bruce in the end, and that might turn out to be a good ball. Kanchelskis down the far side, but Staunton sticking tight to Kanchelskis and threads it back to Teal, edge of the area. This is a really good bit of play now from Villa following the goal. Richardson tried a long ball into the Manchester United half. Another one now. Bruce stretches and just does enough, and United win it back again and play it nicely around from the back. The ball is with Dennis Irwin down this near side. Finds Ryan Giggs just inside the Villa half. Nice little layoff back again to Dennis Irwin. Irwin halfway inside the Villa half. Ince takes over now. Ince for Hughes, 25 yards out. United making lots of passes. In the end, Irwin tried to flick it down the left, and Villa get it away from Kevin Richardson. The ball short of the halfway line, and a foul by Saunders on Pallister. Quickly taken free kick by Manchester United. The ball is centre field with Keane. Hughes now in the deep for Manchester United. Back again to Keane. Keane down the centre looking for Giggs. Missed kick by Barrett, but it's not costly. And Barrett can now chase the ball across to this near side. He can't keep it in though. And his was the last touch. And Manchester United have a throw in about 10 yards from the corner flag. 7 minutes left in the first half. And Dalian Atkinson's goal here has given Aston Villa the lead. Throw to United. Irwin to take it. Cantona back to Irwin. Hughes and Kanchelskis waiting at the far post with Keane. Cantona drifts a right-footed ball in. Hughes can't head it down. Away. Parker with a shot. Just wide. What a moment that might have been for Paul Parker. Scorer of very few goals in his career. That was a good effort from the fullback.
Certainly was. It was a volley almost on the turn, and it came about after the ball was knocked into the box. It was Teal who headed it away, and Parker running in absolutely struck it. I thought for a second it was in. It couldn't have missed by much because Bosnich just had a look at it.
The Coca-Cola Cup final of 1994, and it's been announced today that they will continue their sponsorship of this competition for another 3 years. So it will stay the Coca-Cola for the next 3 years. That news has just come through to us. Now, Aston Villa are leading this game. Atkinson's goal. Saunders wanting something over on the far side. He, in fact, has been penalised by Keith Cooper. Free kick to Manchester United. Bruce trying to inspire his side back into this game to take the free kick. Bruce's free kick about 30 yards into the Villa half. Cantona was pushed by McGrath. Not very subtle that. The referee was 5 yards away. And this free kick, centre field, is about 35 yards or so away from Bosnich's goal. Nothing on here for Dennis Irwin, I don't think. He's just limbering up down this left-hand side. Giggs is going to go across to take it. Now Bruce makes a late entry into the area. Free kick is aimed towards Bruce. Got a little push as he went up for the ball. Ball comes out to Giggs. Giggs and Irwin leave it to each other. And Villa now have a chance to clear, but they haven't done it. Giggs flashes the ball up towards the edge of the area. And it's away. Drop kick clearance by Sean Teal. Back come Manchester United. Parker can't go forward. Gives the back pass to goalkeeper Les Sealey. The one keeper so far to have been beaten in this game. The first time he's played in the United goal since he returned to the club from, of all people, Aston Villa. Now Cantona, almost the last line of defence for United. Gives the ball to Parker down the right. Parker looks for Kanchelskis. For Keane. Now Kanchelskis has it. Good build-up play by Manchester United. Kanchelskis does well to keep it in. Kanchelskis going forward, looking to try and go past Townsend. Has another go. Might need a bit of help. Tried to cross with his left foot. Ball comes back to Parker. Parker elects to keep it in down the far side. Finds Ince on the edge of the area. He'll try and turn against Kevin Richardson. Villa really defending well, having taken the lead. Ince's ball in. Cantona can't reach it. It's a bit short for Keane. Tremendous challenge by the youngster Fenton. Comes away with the ball strongly. Equally great challenge by Hughes. Hughes gets a break now as Kanchelskis finds Parker down the United right. Parker wants one too many touches. He stumbles and Staunton takes it away from him, and United missed the boat. Last 5 minutes of the first half, and Tony Daly showing us his pace now. Daly goes forward. Saunders is hoping he can find him. He does in the end. Near side, the Villa right. Saunders bustles forward, tries to flick it past Owen, and it doesn't come off for Aston Villa. United have got too many defenders there, and now they try and stretch Villa down this near side with Cantona. Still getting booed by the Villa fans. Lovely ball across the field for Andrew Kanchelskis. Faced by Staunton, goes past him, and then he's a bit unlucky there. He punts the ball too far in front of himself, and it's out for a throw-in.
Good play by United, and then just a reminder there on the break, Tony Daly running at them from the halfway line. His pass really was a little bit laboured, and Saunders was left with a little bit too much to do.
3 minutes to go in the first half. Villa 1, Manchester United 0 in the League Cup final. Villa again now with number 25 Fenton. Chipped the ball up towards the edge of the area. Pallister heads it away. Good skills now from Daly and Atkinson, and Villa regroup in midfield. Richardson having a fine game for Villa, the captain. Richardson again, he was played into trouble there against Paul Ince. He loses his boot. Typical challenge from Ince. And it's a throw to Villa down this near side of the field. Richardson puts his boot on. Villa take the throw in. Daly's come across to the right hand side for the first time. Sees that Richardson's struggling to get his boot on, so picks out Townsend instead. And now Townsend once more. And Atkinson goes across to the left. That was a poor ball though by Aston Villa. It's out of play for United throw-in. Deep in defence, and Parker throws it back to number 13, Les Seeley. Here he comes. Shuffles the ball out of the area. He might have cleared there all the way, but United are preferring to build up methodically from the back. Bruce finds Hughes, who comes short to receive the ball. Hughes faced by Teal, works it wide down the right. Kanchelskis in field for Keane. Owen makes a late run down the left-hand side. Keane is still centre of the field. United trying to get an equaliser before half-time. Playing the ball around the Wembley playing area here. Trying to get an equaliser with Cantona. Cantona still sees Pallister in a good position. United patiently from the back. Now Pallister goes forward. Still Pallister. He's going to run into trouble here. Runs into Barrett. Goes down under the challenge. Edge of the area and wins the free kick. Pallister points inside the area. There's no doubt he fell inside the area, but the challenge was outside, and this is going to be a free kick, and it's going to be very dangerous potentially for Mark Bosnich, with Dennis Irwin on the scene there immediately, and Cantona and Ince and Giggs. They've got a minute or so left in the first half. This would be a very good time to equalise. This kick is no more than a foot outside the penalty area, to the left as we look at it. In a line, Cantona, Irwin and Ince. This could be Dennis Irwin. And Kanchelskis and Giggs on the right. They want the wall pushed back a little bit more. Bruce has gone right up. He's about 9 yards out with Mark Hughes. Bosnich has got a wall of 5. It's Irwin with the curler, and it goes into the wall, and Daly's clearance is sliced out of play for a throw-in.
Yes, Villa had done the homework on that, because what happened was, as he took the free kick, Staunton backpedaled quickly to the line. You know, make sure he wasn't playing everybody on side at the initial move, and then he was ready for the ball being curled into the top corner.
It's not a throw-in, it's a corner, and Giggs is going to take it. Last seconds of the first half, left-footed corner. Cantona can't reach it in the air. Villa now with a chance to clear. Atkinson, a fine ball for Saunders. Saunders holds, does well for his team. Turns, plays it, and Villa try to counter-attack here, and Fenton goes forward. But Owen holds him up, but still the danger not clear. Fenton once more for Aston Villa, leading by 1-0. Saunders played into a certain amount of difficulty there by Fenton. Ince shovels it away, but doesn't really look. It's straight back again with Villa, playing added time in the first half. Staunton now for Daly. Daly on the edge of the area, flashes it across the 6-yard line. United clear. Oh, what a pity from Ron Atkinson's point of view. Daly couldn't have done more with that. United's Hughes. Down the centre, Cantona gives up the chase. Villa have it back again, and Townsend feeds Staunton. Last seconds literally now. Injury time being played here. The only injury really, Kevin Richardson's of Aston Villa. Townsend, first Wembley final. finds Atkinson, flag goes up offside against Saunders. Referee hasn't seen the linesman yet, and now he has, and gives United the kick.
Yes, if Daly had have played the ball with a bit more conviction, could have been more trouble for Manchester United there.
Bruce for Manchester United, trailing by 1-0. Having beaten Villa twice in the league this season, looking to complete a treble success over them today, on the way to what they hope will be a domestic treble, which has never been done before. But at the moment, it's going against them. The 1 goal from Daly and Atkinson. Manchester United trying to come back. Hughes is outnumbered by Villa players. It breaks though for Giggs. Giggs tried to find Cantona, couldn't get enough pace on the ball though. And Villa defending well once more, and Staunton brings it away for them down the left-hand side and clips it with his left foot, looking for Saunders, who goes in between Bruce and Pallister, but Bruce wins that well with a towering header. Now United on the halfway line. Cantona gets the last touch of the first half. Keith Cooper from Pontypridd blows his whistle, and Aston Villa lead by 1-0 in the League Cup final.
Well, first of all, it's been an excellent 45 minutes in terms of entertainment. I think everybody here must be enjoying it. I don't know if the United fans really will add to that remark too much, but I felt it's been an excellent, entertaining 45 minutes. United started easily the best. I thought for about 20 minutes, they always looked as though the goal would come. They missed 2 what I call good chances. I thought Hughes had a good chance on the quarter hour after a 5 or 6 man move. Giggs crossed it and Hughes running in, flicked it with his right foot. Just trickled past the post. And then another exchange between Hughes and Keane, ending with Keane diving in with the header, which Bosnich saved. I felt he should have volleyed it. And then there was another chance from Cantona late on, but no conviction in it. But sandwiched in between was this goal from Villa. That came on 25 minutes. Prior to that, I thought they'd offered very little. They defended well. And while it stayed 0-0, of course, there was always plenty of running in the front players. But once Atkinson had scored, I felt in the last 20 minutes, they, in turn, were the equal of United.
So Alex Ferguson has to sort things out at half-time. The 1 goal so far, Townsend started it, Saunders flicked it on, Daly and Atkinson put it away. It's 1-0 to Villa.
Yes, Alex Ferguson has plenty of talking to do at half-time. You have to G them up for the second half. And what a goal, Peter, with to bless a final. I mean, that was terrific by Atkinson. And the man we were saying 5 goals so far, it was lucky 6, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, the one thing really, I mean, it's a great advertisement for football. It's nice to see the two sides want to play football, want to compete, want to play, and what a stage to set for it. I mean, it was a great goal. They had been under the cosh for maybe 15-20 minutes, but I thought that tactically Ron Atkinson had got it right. He really denied space. The last time he played, he went for a man-for-man system with Cantona, and it didn't work. All of a sudden, he's changed the system just slightly. Great little 1-2. And Daly and Atkinson making them runs from where he does. I thought it was a brilliant finish in the end. I thought it was a great goal.
Well, Frank Stapleton is also alongside me. Frank, apart from the goal that Villa scored, though, my main memories from the first half were of United's missed chances.
Yeah, I think that they'll be disappointed having conceded a goal and not being ahead early in the game. But once Aston Villa got the goal, for me, the United more or less disappeared. I've been disappointed in Giggs and Kanchelskis. Their game today has been poor. I mean, Giggs is wanting to flick a lot of things, and this is after the initial period when they were on top.
Well, the Villa team have just emerged from the tunnel. Manchester United just coming out now. Just time for a quick comment from our experts up alongside me. First of all, Frank, what has Alex said to them at half-time, do you think?
Well, I think he'll be asking them to put a bit more in, to try and get more thrust into the wide positions. I think they're getting good possession, but they're not being positive enough, particularly Ryan Giggs. I think he's got to get in the game more.
Difference, as far as I'm concerned, is that Alex Ferguson is worried than what Ron Atkinson will be, simply because if I look at the Villa side, there's not one player that I could criticise. If I look at the two wide men in Manchester United, they have not got into the game, and that's what the difference maybe could be.
OK, kick-off about to happen then. Daly and Atkinson's goal separates the sides. It's 1-0 to Villa going into the second half. Your commentary team again, Mike Ingham, Jimmy Armfield, and first, it's good evening to Alan Green.
Yes, what are we doing at this time watching football? Why isn't it a 3 o'clock kick-off? That's this question each year of this game. No alterations to the two lineups. These are the teams. Manchester United have in goal Seeley, their defenders Parker, Bruce, Pallister and Irwin as they kick off the second half. In midfield, Kanchelskis, Ince, Keane and Giggs. The strikers Hughes and Cantona. The Cantonese being very deep in that first half. Villa in goal, Bosnich. In defence, Barrett, Teal, McGrath and Staunton. In midfield, 5 in midfield, usually. Atkinson, Richardson, Townsend, Fenton and Daly. Saunders up front. Atkinson with the only goal so far after 25 minutes. And he's tackled at the moment, goes down injured just to the right of the centre circle. He's slightly winded. Don't think it's anything too serious, though he's still sitting down as Bruce plays the ball away to the left for Manchester United. In their yellow and green half shirts, now attacking the goal away to our right. Attacking the Villa end this afternoon at Wembley. McGrath defends well, flicks the ball away. Atkinson's still injured. Fenton comes forward. He's got Saunders making the run to the right. He plays it to the Welshman Saunders, right side of the penalty area. Pallister's across there. Daly and Fenton inside the penalty area. It's given back to Townsend. Back to Atkinson. 25 yards out. Looking to play the 1-2 with Fenton. It doesn't come off. That was far too manufactured. And it was well read by Keane. And Keane brings the ball away for Manchester United. To Kanchelskis down the right side. And then he cuts in field, rather funneling this attack. Gets the ball forward nevertheless to Cantona. Wide to Giggs down the right. Giggs skips away from Teal. Right side and moving in towards the penalty area until he's stopped by Staunton, the Irishman. Staunton with a good ball infield too to Daly. Daly to Townsend. Running towards the halfway line. Showed a little bit too much of it to Parker, but the ball deflects to Staunton. Forward to Townsend again. Oh, gives the ball away far too easily. It's with Manchester United. Jimmy, just a thought that struck both Mike Ingham and myself in that first half. Is there, quote, a lack of aggression about United today? Do you think they're all too conscious of what's gone on over the last week and they're reining in at Wembley? Kanchelskis comes forward. Hughes, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. Gives it back to Cantona. In seems to be holding his left leg. Play continues. Keane feeds it forward. Irwin can't get there. It's Atkinson who's winning the ball, edge of his own penalty area. He runs away and Ince still looks uncomfortable. Gets to his feet and now it's played down the far side by Barrett. Pallister's there and United have possession.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it is that. I think one of the problems they had in the first half was where they didn't get the goal when they were on top, and then they were hit on the break. I think it definitely affected the confidence in view of recent events. I think one was commensurate with the other. I think the other thing which has been important is I feel that Cantona is a bit too deep, and if I was Alec Ferguson, I'd be wanting him to get further up in support of Mark Hughes, who I feel, in the last 20 minutes didn't get the support that was required. I wonder really how long you will leave it like that.
Staunton, lovely ball to Daly down the left. Saunders inside the penalty. Oh, Daly hurried the cross far too quick, and he just plays it harmlessly behind for a goal kick. We played 2 minutes in the second half. Villa lead Manchester United by 1-0. Daly and Atkinson's 6th in the competition. Only Aldrich and McCarthy have scored more this season in the League Cup. The goal kick is taken by Seeley over the halfway line, headed back by McGrath. Atkinson plays it on, but well ahead of Daly, and it runs through to Seeley once more. Seeley out to Bruce, midway inside his own half. Moves forward towards the halfway line on his right foot. Hughes and Cantona ahead of him. So too is Kanchelskis. That's a great ball. Great control by Kanchelskis. Wonderful tackle by Teal.
Wonderful tackle by Teal. United employing the old Route 1 tactic again there. Use it constantly, and Villa will have to watch for it. That's the ball over the top, using the pace of Kanchelskis and Giggs. That was a great challenge by Teal.
It was a great pass. Great control too by Kanchelskis. Wonderful interception by Teal. Giggs with a corner, curled in towards goal. Bosnich stretches, punches it away, and Kanchelskis picks it up for Manchester United. Back to Parker. Giggs available down the right side, and Giggs has the ball. Back to Parker once more. United press, and then Parker's pass forward, not so good. Hit Richardson, and anyway, the flag was up for offside, and I don't know why the referee stopped play, because Villa were clearly in possession. It just impedes their progress at the moment.
I think it's important, Ron Atkinson will have said to his players, keep it tight at the back. I think that's the crucial thing. I always feel, when you're playing against a side you know, that's had a marvellous season, your back players have got to remain secure, and they've done that particularly well.
Townsend flicks the ball down the Villa left. Parker's there ahead of Daly, tries to clear but hits it straight to Townsend. Forward to Daly once more. Parker with the challenge. Keane's in there as well, and Keane just chips the ball towards the halfway line where Teal jumps to head the ball. He also nudged Cantona in the back, heads it out of play, throw into Manchester United. The attendance 77,231, receipts of 2.2 million, and it's cold out there, you know. Big Ron's given up the idea of just wearing a suit. He's got the mac on now. It really is cold. Kanchelskis for Manchester United, down the right side, edge of the penalty area, crosses very deep. Giggs is waiting on his left foot, curls the cross into the penalty area. Teal heads it down, and Townsend is stretching for it and doesn't beat Keane, but Keane was hurried into playing the ball and only hits it over the near touchline for a throw into Villa.
There's a long ball again from Bruce over the top of Staunton, and Kanchelskis was onto it.
Throw into Villa. Staunton to take it. Keane seemed to be leaning on Townsend. It's anyway another Aston Villa throw-in. They certainly took the lead against the run of play, but arguably they had a really good chance where they might have gone 2 up. Ball didn't quite run for them. They lead 1-0 then. 6 minutes played in the second half here in the 1994 League Cup final at Wembley. Bruce, the Manchester skipper, plays it forward. Good control by Hughes on his chest. Turns onto his right foot inside the penalty area. Tries to curl the cross towards Cantona. It's blocked by McGrath, behind for a corner. Cantona applauds. He knew how well Hughes had done.
Yes, and Villa should have applauded McGrath, because that was a good challenge as well. Used it extremely well. Created the opening. The cross looked dangerous. McGrath got it behind. United are on top.
Giggs with the left foot. Whips the corner in. Bosnich seemed to be impeded. Pallister heads it over the crossbar. And anyway, I think the free kick has been given for the foul on Bosnich.
Clear foul, Alan. Yes, it was, because as Giggs knocked the ball in there, Bosnich came for it, and he was quite deliberately balked as the ball came over. Actually, what they're looking for, United, on these balls, they're looking for Bruce all the time or Pallister. And Pallister was going for that, but Bosnich was clearly balked.
In Trinidad, England were 328 all out. That was a lead of 76 on the first innings. Here at Wembley, 7 minutes played in the second half. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 1. Daly and Atkinson with a goal. Parker plays it forward for United. McGrath heads it back inside the United half. Bruce was waiting, loses out to Fenton. He's got Saunders ahead of him. The referee says that Fenton used his hand.
Yes, he did. He knocked the ball. I don't think it was deliberate, but he went in there with his arms around. He's done well, young Fenton. He's plenty of running in his game.
Wasn't deliberate. Shouldn't have been a free kick. Ball is out of play on the near side of the field. It's a throw into Manchester United. Parker to take it, and Alex Ferguson up quickly off the seats on the near side to shout instructions. He wears the look of a worried man just at the moment, and I think he's being told to come back and sit down. He is indeed. Went rather too close to the touchline. 7 minutes played in the second half. Villa a goal up. Pallister for United, over into Villa territory, gives it to Ince, who seems to have run off that slight injury. Plays it to his right. Keane, 30 yards out, doesn't even think about shooting. Gives it to Kanchelskis, right side, just outside the penalty. Oh, does well, gets around Staunton into the penalty, and then he overruns the ball. Surely he does, and it's a goal kick.
Yes, and it couldn't have been out by much, but he went round the outside of Daly and Staunton there, and what he did, he just had one touch too many, and it trickled over the line. I think that's the route really for United. They're going to use these wide players. I think Alex Ferguson will have demanded a bit more from the pair of them, Giggs and Kanchelskis. But at this moment in time, I think United at least have got the game together again. They desperately need the goal, though, for the confidence factor.
It's the Villa bands who are singing. Their team's first appearance at Wembley since the Charity Shield of 1981. But they lead here. Perhaps against the run of play, certainly against the favourites. 1-0, scored by this man, Atkinson, inside the centre circle. Now he plays it down the left, but that was just a hidden hope really. It was beyond Daly. Parker gives the ball back to Seeley, and Seeley's first time clearance goes straight out of play on the near side of the field for a throw-in to Aston Villa. Alex Ferguson again up, screaming instructions to his players.
Staunton to take the throw in on the halfway line. Near side, that's the Villa left. He throws it towards Townsend. Ince does very well. Gets the ball to Kanchelskis. Infield to Keane. Back it goes to Bruce. Start forward with a long ball, but there was no one on the end of that one except Sean Teal for Aston Villa. Aston Villa, not Villa. He used to play at Wembley too, didn't he? Hughes plays the ball towards the far side. Cantona again deep and tackled immediately by Atkinson. I've got to say that defensively, Atkinson's done a wonderful job this afternoon.
I think Villa defensively right round the team. Yes, you know, Saunders has run well, he's run yards and yards and yards at the front, you know, just trying to contain Manchester United's back line.
Well, he does
Got through to the final on a penalty shootout against Tranmere. It's Dean Saunders against Les Seeley. It's 2-1 to Villa. It's 3-1 to Villa. And the treble dream is over. Aston Villa now, you can safely say, have won the League Cup. They've won their first English Cup since 1977. They dance around on the bench. Ron Atkinson gets a hug from Steve Staunton. Dean Saunders has got 2 goals, and Manchester United cannot now win this game.
Well, it's ended really in tragedy for Manchester United. Kanchelskis sent off. I'm led to believe he will now miss the FA Cup semi-final. That's the 4th player they've had sent off in 5 matches for a handball on the line, but make no mistake about it, it was going into the back of the net. Atkinson shot. Daly caught them on, they were caught on the break. Daly hit them with a good shot that hit the post, came back, Atkinson struck it, it was going in, Kanchelskis caught it with his left arm, and the referee supplied the law, really to the letter really, and sent him off. It seems a bit harsh really, but there he goes, 3-1.
It's a free kick to Manchester United taken by Keane. Cantona rises, hopefully, Villa clear, and the whistle goes at Wembley. The final whistle goes from referee Keith Cooper. And Aston Villa are back in Europe. They've won their first domestic cup for 17 years. They have beaten the favourites Manchester United by 3 goals to 1. Ron Atkinson has done it to his former club again. He did it with Sheffield Wednesday here in 1991. On that occasion, 1 goal from John Sheridan beat Les Seeley. But today he's done it with a 3-1 scoreline. Dalian Atkinson the first. Dean Saunders then popping in 2. The third dramatically with a penalty after Mark Hughes had given United some hope. United now have to forget about the treble, which manager Alex Ferguson said was always going to be difficult. He now has to lift his side for a week coming up against Liverpool and Blackburn. Manchester United can still win perhaps a double, but the moment now belongs to Aston Villa and the Claret and Blue. They've waited so long for this. So many of their supporters, their younger supporters, have never been to Wembley Stadium before to see them in a major cup final. Well, now they've equalised Liverpool and Nottingham Forest's achievement in winning the League Cup for a 4th time. Congratulations to Villa and to Ron Atkinson.
Well, I said before the game, I thought Manchester United, if they played as well as they could, they would win. And they started off extremely well, but in the end they faded, I must say. They did fade. Villa hit them with a goal on the break, Atkinson on 25 minutes, but they picked themselves up. They looked like getting back into it again, but then they got caught again from a free kick on 75 minutes, and I think at that stage I think they must have felt, well, it's one of those days when nothing's going to go right. They had 3 good chances, Hughes, Keane, Hughes again, and then on 70 minutes I felt came the crucial issue. The ball was knocked into Sharp, 6 yards from goal. It was a bit slow, and United and Villa scrambled it away. They went to the other end, scored a goal. So couldn't have been 1 each. It was 2-1. United made a last-ditch effort with Hughes, but then came the final tragedy of all: to lose a penalty and then to have another player sent off. You know, Alex Ferguson must be wondering really where it's all going to end. But well, good luck to Villa. They've worked hard. Manchester United will go home tonight just wondering just what does lie ahead, I think, in the last few weeks of the season. But they've got the talent, Mike. The talent's there. There's no question about it.
Well, Blackburn Rovers will be wondering as well how this is going to affect Manchester United. So will Oldham. Interesting there to see Alex Ferguson consoling Andrei Kanchelskis. And Kanchelskis appeared to be saying to him, if he can speak in English, there was nothing I could do, boss. Let's say straight away that the sending off today, totally different from the Schmeichel sending off or the Cantona sending off at Swindon. I didn't think Cantona should have been sent off on Tuesday night, but Kanchelskis sent off for handling on the line. And so, as they do in the League Cup, the beaten side go up first of all, Manchester United. Alex Ferguson kept on saying that the treble was going to be tough. Well, it's now impossible. Still a chance of doing the traditional double of League Championship, Premiership and FA Cup, provided there's no reaction to this. Liverpool, remember, they play at home on Wednesday. Then the big one against Blackburn next Saturday, and Eric Cantona will begin a 5-game suspension after the game against Liverpool. Steve Bruce is leading Manchester United up for the first time, and this is not what they came for here today. League Cup final runners-up. And the big question in football now is this a one-off failure here this afternoon, or could there be deeper damage to Manchester United? They came here, Villa, obviously very relaxed, the underdogs. Manchester United had that inferno of a game at Highbury on Tuesday. Villa have been down in the home counties over the weekend. They've had comedian Stan Boardman and manager Ron Atkinson cracking the jokes today on the team bus, bringing them here. And just as in 1957, when they came here and upset the apple cart in the FA Cup, they have beaten the favourites, Manchester United. The United players go up, they look very, very down. Alex Ferguson is really going to have to pick them up now over the next couple of days before they receive Liverpool on Wednesday. But now Aston Villa go up. Ron Atkinson may be a jinx on his former club. He beat them here with Sheffield Wednesday. He knocked them out when he was with Villa last season when they were the holders. Today he completes the hat-trick and also prevents United's historic treble. Kevin Richardson's now won all three major English prizes in his career. Third attempt in this final with three different clubs. Like Steve Bruce, he's a Geordie. Like Steve Bruce, he's a great professional. It's Kevin Richardson collecting now, on behalf of his team, Aston Villa, their first domestic cup since 1977. He will receive it from the Lion of Vienna, Bolton's Nat Lofthouse. First the medal, and now for Aston Villa, they were the first winners, and now the latest winners of the League Cup. Richardson turns to his right. The flashlights go on all around the stadium. Many of the United fans away to the left already making their way to the exit. Kevin Richardson and Aston Villa are back in Europe. Every single member of the team now will pass the Coca-Cola League Cup down the line. Mark Bosnich, watched by family from Australia, passes it on to Dean Saunders, who got a couple of goals. Crucially, the second one as well, which made life so difficult for United. Steve Staunton gets to shake the cup as well, and 19-year-old Graham Fenton as well. A brave decision that by Ron Atkinson to shake up his team, to leave out the experienced Ray Houghton. Fenton came in, nobody in the Atkinson side let him down today, and it's Villa's League Cup.
Yes, I suppose it's fitting that Richardson lifted the cup, because I thought he was the outstanding player on the field today. There are a few heroes, Villa, as you know, at the back particularly. Couldn't fault any of the back line. But I thought Richardson was outstanding. He led by example from the middle of the field. His work rate, but apart from that, he kept his composure. He showed all his experience. He made one or two very telling tackles. And he's the man really who's personified what Villa have been about today. United had a lot of possession. Tremendous amount of the possession. But they're walking off on the far side there, Mike. You know, it's they look a bit down. They do look down, of course, because they've lost. But there's still quite a bit to do, really, this season for them. They've done such a lot so far, but they've still got to get over that white line. They've still got to breast the tape. And I suppose, really, that's what they must be thinking right now. Villa, the joy is theirs today.
OK, Jim, thank you. Intriguing to see now how Manchester United can react to this. It was good to see them walk around the pitch. They went to the Villa fans, who duly applauded them. Their own fans are doing the same now. Villa have won the League Cup today, record equalling fourth time. Maybe now we could get some thoughts from Peter With and Frank Stapleton with Robin Bailey.
Yeah, drama all the way on Radio 5. This is the final sports programme before we become 5 Live, and we had a match which had everything. Peter With, I ought to come to you first. Marvellous for Villa.
Yeah, that was only one goal out. When I said 3-2, but we got it in the end. It was 3-1. Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendous advertisement for football. Both sides worked very, very hard. I thought tactically, Ron Atkinson got it right. He ended up playing people that maybe surprised a little bit, but he worked very, very hard. The boy Fenton. It's nice to see for Doug Ellis. It'll be the first time he's been chairman of the Aston Villa Football Club, and as chairman, it's the first trophy he's won. So that has been a bit of a bind with him and a bit of a thing with him. So he's got his first trophy under his belt. It means that they get back into Europe, of course, which is a good thing for the club again. And where speculation was talking about Ron Atkinson maybe leaving, I think that he might be here for a few more years just yet.
Frank Stapleton, where do United go from here? Many people were saying if they lost today, they'd lose the lot.
Well, that's the obvious thing to say, but I mean, this is just one game. and they've lost games before and come back. I think it's a cruel game really, and none more so than here at Wembley. When it went to 2-1, when I said just before they scored that it would take a superhuman effort, but I mean the game could have ended up, we could have been playing extra time now. Looking at the save that Bosnich made from Mark Hughes, it was a wonderful save, instinctive, and that kept them in the game, and they defended down to the next few minutes, and then we had that finale there with the penalty and the player being sent off. But it can be cruel at times. I'm just looking back how many saves Steely had to make in the day, and really I've got to look at it and say that Aston Villa took their chances on the day and Man United didn't.
Peter, wonderful for Ron Atkinson as well against his former club, wasn't it?
Yeah, and as I said, really, he was. This is the he's the second manager to win it at 3 different clubs. The only difference I would say for Ron Atkinson is Ron Saunders ended up taking over Manchester City, I think, in the semi-final. So at least he's been at the clubs and gone right the way through all the rounds and won the cup. And it's nice for people like him. I think that he's good for football, wants to play the game in the correct manner. And I thought that they were tremendous today. I think all 11 players, even the lads who come on, were tremendous. Worked very, very hard for each other. For the last 2 games that they've played, they've been atrocious to be fair to them. And now today they've proved the way that they can play.
Okay, Peter With and Frank Stapleton, thank you for joining me this afternoon. It's been a terrific day. Your commentary team, by the way, Mike Ingham, Alan Green and Jimmy Armfield, brought all the drama home to you on Radio 5. We're 5 Live tomorrow. There's a sports roundup to come. We'll leave you with the goal that ended United's treble hopes and made Aston Villa Wembley winners again. From all of us here, a very good night to you.
It's Dean Saunders against Les Seeley. It's 2-1 to Villa. It's 3-1 to Villa. And the treble dream is over. Aston Villa now, you can safely say, have won the League Cup.